Imagine a bird, weighing less than your phone, that flies from the top of the world to the bottom and back again every single year. It's a journey so vast that over its lifetime, this tiny traveler will cover a distance equal to flying to the moon and back, not once but 3 times. This is the story of the Arctic tern, and it's just one of the epic journeys we're about to explore. Across land, air, and sea, billions of creatures are driven by an ancient, invisible instinct to move. This is animal migration, one of the most awe-inspiring mysteries of the natural world. These aren't just random wanderings, they are precise, predictable odysseys written deep in the DNA of a species. They are journeys for survival, a search for food, a place to raise a family, or an escape from a harsh climate. From the thundering hooves of millions of wildebeest that literally shake the African plains, to the silent, multi-generational flight of monarch butterflies fluttering across a continent, these mass movements are the planet's pulse. They are the circulatory system of Earth, connecting distant ecosystems and ensuring the health of life itself. Now let's follow along with these incredible athletes to uncover the breathtaking scale of their travels and the monumental challenges they have to overcome. So, who holds the record for the longest migration on Earth? That title belongs to the Arctic tern. This slender seabird is the ultimate globetrotter. It has cleverly figured out how to live in a perpetual summer. It breeds in the 24-hour daylight of the Arctic, then takes off on an unbelievable journey south to the Antarctic to enjoy a second summer, once again basking in constant daylight. This brilliant strategy means it always has plenty of time to find food, but the cost is a journey that's hard to wrap your head around. Scientists used to guess the round trip was about 40,000 kilometers. But new data from tiny geolocators has completely shattered that number. It turns out, the annual round trip for an Arctic tern can be over 70,000 kilometers, and some individuals even top 90,000 kilometers. The journey itself is a masterclass in flying efficiently. The terns don't just fly in a straight line, they follow complex routes, weaving across the globe to catch favorable winds. It's an astonishing feat of endurance, a life spent chasing the sun. On the vast, sun-scorched plains of East Africa, the earth trembles. This is the sound of the Great Migration, arguably the most spectacular show on land. It's a relentless, circular march of over 1.5 million wildebeest, along with hundreds of thousands of zebras and gazelles, constantly moving across Tanzania's Serengeti and Kenya's Masai Mara. But this isn't a journey with a clear start and end point. It's a perpetual clockwise loop driven by the most basic need of all, the search for green grass and fresh water. Their timing is dictated by the rains. As the dry season grips one region, the great herds are forced to move on, following the promise of life-giving showers hundreds of kilometers away. One of the most incredible journeys is made by an animal that weighs less than a paperclip, the monarch butterfly. Every autumn, millions of these delicate insects take off on a migration of up to 4,000 kilometers, from the northern US and Canada all the way down to a few specific mountain forests in central Mexico. What makes this migration so mind-boggling is that it's a multi-generational relay race. The butterflies that fly south to Mexico are not the same ones that flew north in the spring. In fact, the journey north takes several generations to complete. This means the final southbound generation, the one that makes the incredible long-haul flight, is navigating to a place it has never been. They are the great-great-grandchildren of the butterflies that left Mexico the previous spring. So how on earth do they do it? This question has fascinated scientists for decades. Research shows they use a pretty sophisticated navigation system. Their main tool is a sun compass. By tracking the sun's position in the sky and using an internal clock located in their antennae, they can hold a steady course south. From the vast open ocean to the tiny gravel bed where it was born, the journey of the salmon is a heroic and often tragic homecoming. It's a migration that spans 2 completely different worlds, freshwater and saltwater, and is defined by a relentless upstream struggle against impossible odds. A salmon's life begins in a cool, clear river. As little fish or fry, they're carried downstream to the ocean, where they'll spend several years feeding and growing into powerful, silver-sided adults. Their single goal is to return to the exact stream where they were born to spawn. This journey is a maze of obstacles. They must swim against powerful currents for hundreds, sometimes thousands of miles, climbing thousands of feet in elevation. They face a gauntlet of predators. Further upstream, birds like herons and eagles patrol the shallows, while bears stand guard at waterfalls, swatting at the leaping fish with powerful paws. The humpback whale, a gentle giant of the sea, undertakes one of the longest migrations of any mammal. Each year, these magnificent creatures travel thousands of miles between their feeding and breeding grounds, a journey from the icy poles to the balmy tropics. Humpbacks spend their summers in cold polar waters, where the long days fuel huge blooms of plankton and krill. This is their feast. A single humpback can gulp down nearly a ton of food a day, sometimes using clever tricks like creating bubble nets to trap their prey. They need to pack on the pounds, because they're going to need every bit of that energy for the trip ahead. As winter approaches, they begin their migration toward the equator, heading for the warm, calm waters of the tropics, near places like Hawaii or Mexico. They travel all this way for one primary reason: to mate and give birth. The warm water is much safer for newborn calves, which don't have the thick layer of blubber they need to survive the cold, and it offers them some protection from predators like orcas. The caribou, also known as reindeer in other parts of the world, undertakes the longest land migration on the planet. Some herds travel over 1,300 kilometers each year on their round-trip journey across the harsh landscapes of North America. Caribou are perfectly adapted to life in the extreme north. Their migration is a finely tuned response to the seasons. They move from their wintering grounds in the forests to their calving grounds on the open tundra. This trip north in the spring is a race against time. The pregnant females lead the charge, driven by an urgent need to reach the calving grounds just as the new plants are sprouting, giving them the nutrients they need to produce milk. Gathering on the open tundra is also a key survival strategy. By giving birth in huge numbers within just a few days, they create a predator swamp. There are so many calves at once that predators like wolves, grizzly bears, and golden eagles are simply overwhelmed, ensuring that while some are lost, the vast majority survive. The journey is grueling. The herds must cross treacherous mountains and rivers still choked with ice. They face relentless swarms of insects and constant pressure from predators. And all along the way, they're shadowed by their oldest foe, the wolf, who trails the herds for hundreds of miles, testing their defenses and picking off the weak or the young. Human activity is adding new dangers. Roads, pipelines, and mines are cutting across their ancient migration routes. Caribou are sensitive creatures, and they are often unwilling to cross these man-made barriers, which can sever their access to the places they need to survive. A changing climate is also disrupting the delicate timing of their migration, causing a mismatch between their arrival and the growth of the plants they need to eat.